Hello everybody. Well, as you can see, I've got a Chaya tree down, and all is not lost. Okay, unlike a lot of trees, Chaya is very easy to replant. It's just a matter of the physical exertion you need to get it back into the ground. So what are we going to do here? Well, first let's talk about, this is the second time this has happened to this tree in the last year and a half. We had a storm come through yesterday, had some high wind gusts, and this thing got uprooted. Okay, in fact, the same storm, we had a Chaya tree right over here by the pool, and we carted this one away. I just don't want something that flimsy next to my pool. Okay, it's just too many potential problems falling in the pool and all that. So we decided to basically cart it away. It's all chopped up and on the side of the road. But this one I'm going to try to save. Part of the problem why this has been falling over, I think it's on a slope, and I don't want to move it any closer to the house, the pool, because that's where the septic drain field is. So I don't want to move it any closer where it'd be a little bit flatter. So being on a slope is part of the problem. So what are we going to do? The biggest thing we're going to do is I'm going to try to dig a much bigger hole to get it in deeper. As you can see, the roots are sticking out. It's not a big deal if they're all underground. They can be sticking out somewhat. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to give it a haircut because it's probably too heavy anyway to get lifted up. And what I'm going to try to do after I get it in here is I'm going to try to keep it no more than like 6 feet tall and let it bush out, because it just pretty much got too top heavy, I think, was the problem. Now this one right here, it stood up. It didn't go down. So that one, I think I'm just going to leave alone. It seemed to withhold. You know, I've got some braces there, some old Chaya branches that you see bracing it, and that seemed to have helped. And the way it's growing, it's going right against the braces. Here I got a big Chaya plant over here, and it's really bushy. You know, it's a little bit tall, but you can see it's a lot more bushy than it is tall. And so it really hasn't had any kind of problem with uprooting. All right, so again, I'm going to dig a big hole right here. Try to get it as deep as I reasonably can, and then I'm going to give this thing a haircut, and we're going to try to get this thing back into the ground. Chaya, we don't really need to worry about it. I mean, it would probably keep growing like this, honestly. If I left it like this, it would probably keep growing just like this, but I don't want to do that. I want it more in the ground, standing up, because Chaya is extremely tough. You don't even need to add water. Okay, it does fine in dry earth, dry soil, so it's very easy to replant, unlike a lot of other trees that you may not be able to do this with. All right, so I'm going to start digging the hole now. The hole dug. It's as big as I want to do it. I think that's going to be big enough. And now it's time to give it a haircut. Now these branches will cut pretty easily. So even big one like that, I could probably get with these clippers. Yep, see? So Chaya branches do cut pretty easily. They're kind of heavy, and that's why I'm giving it a haircut. But they're easy to cut. So this won't take too long. So I got to make sure this is plenty light enough to put back up. Yeah, see, I can cut through that pretty easily. Oh wow, there's a bird's nest. Look at that. I don't know if that's an old, hopefully it was an old bird's nest, but I don't know. See if there's any eggs in there, if I can get it out. Well, if there were, it ain't there now. Pine needles. Alright, so I'll keep finishing this up and I'll get back to you. Give it its haircut. As you can see, I got two nice piles of branches here that we'll be carting off onto the front curve to be taken away. We already got an order in. So now we're going to I'm going to see how heavy this is, see if I can get it up by myself.
could barely budge this thing, so I'm going to have to give it much more of a haircut than it's got. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll try it again. These thicker branches here down the middle, they're just too thick, so I'm going to have to saw it. Should saw pretty easy. So I'm going to have to saw some of these thicker branches in the middle. That's where a lot of the weight is. And it saws pretty easily. Much more of a haircut. Hopefully there's not raindrops on the camera lens here because it started raining, but it stopped for a second. So you can follow along with me. I'll see if I can lift this thing up now. Still going to be heavy. Okay. Okay. It's starting to budge. I don't know if I can do it myself. May need to get my son. Oh, there's a thing holding it down. Let's see if that helps getting that off. Okay. All right. Just gotta get some leverage. It's going. Got it standing, but unfortunately, I'm not getting it in the hole where it'll be deeper. And that's a problem. I don't know. I don't think there's really any way I'm going to be able to move it to that hole. However, it is standing, so that's something. I'll probably put some extra dirt around the base, try to hold it down, and I'll brace it also. I have some braces, so let me do that and we'll see what it looks like.
Okay, so we got it finished. I still be a little cleaning up around here though, but got it. I'm not concerned at all about the Chaya. I'm sure it's gonna just keep growing right out because I've seen it happen before with other Chaya plants. So if you got any Chaya and it gets uprooted, have damage to it, don't worry about it. Do what you can to replant it if you choose, because I don't think you have anything to worry about. Okay, if you want to support the channel, again, look in the description box below. And if I have any Chaya cuttings for sale, just look in the description box and it'll be listed under there. All right, so I hope you found this helpful. See you later.